Welcome, people thems. So I am going to the Cowboy Carter concert this Thursday. And I'm so excited. So I was like, what can I do like that's gonna help prepare for that? So one of my patrons, Brenda, shout out Brenda, asked for me to react to Beyonce featuring Kendrick Lamar on Freedom.
Trying to rain on the thunder. Tell the storm I'm new. I'm a wild, come a march on the regular. Painted white flags blue.
Which I guess is the BET performance, which was electric. I haven't watched that for a really long time. So that's the first thing I'm going to watch. What I'm going to look at after that, though, is I'm going to watch my reaction to the Renaissance concert. Probably not all of it, but I'm going to watch some of it. And I'm also going to watch my reaction to Cowboy Carter, because I'm really interested to find out whether or not my opinion has changed in terms of like what some of my favorite songs will be. So what are some of the ones that I really want to hear, because I still don't know what the track list is. The set list is going to be for the concert. I've tried my best to kind of keep, so you want to be surprised, you know what I mean? But obviously there are certain things I have seen, like with Rumi, and with Blue and her Deja Vu strut and stuff. So there's definitely some things I have seen, and some of the costumes. But I still don't know from song to song. Like I've got no idea as to what exactly is going to be on there. So I'm just intrigued to find out what my favorites were when I first heard it, and obviously what my thoughts are now. So, but this reaction, this is Beyonce featuring K-Dat. So let's see, let's remind ourselves anyway, what this performance is saying, it was electric. I do remember that. It was an electric performance. Okay, let's do this. The outfits, I forgot about the outfits, man. Sick.
When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. So we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice.
Wow.
Trying to rain on the thunder. Tell a storm I'm new. I'm a wild, come a march on the regular. Painted white flags blue. Forgive me, I've been running blind and true. I'm a rain on the city. Tell the sweet I'm new. I'm telling these tears going fall away, fall away. Oh, may the last one burn into flame. Sing it, y'all. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, what do you lose? Freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains of myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep running 'cause a winner don't quit on themselves. finish line, 40 acre, give me mine. Revolution televised, hoping that you see the sign. Meet me at the finish line, 40 acres, give me mine. Lemonade all the time, keep that in mind. Formation, formation, exclamation, formation. Fellow great Americans, hello, this is heritage for my medicine. 10 Hail Marys, I meditate for practice. Channel 9 news tell me I'm moving backwards. 8 blacks left, death is around the corner. 7 misleading statements about my persona. 6 red lights aiming in my direction. My possession, yeah. I keep running, jumping the aqueduct, fire mushrooms and hazardous. Smoke on the back of us. Mama, don't try for me, rock for me, chop for me, live for me, breathe for me, sing for me. Obviously, gotta be, I can be, sorted out, gotta be, known for me, rock for me, nation and prophecy. Vote on me, dropping me, wicked. Spirit inspired me like. Open correctional gates in the high desert. Open our mind as we cast away oppression. Open the streets and watch our beliefs. You cry my name inside these concrete, I'm praying forever.
Freedom, freedom, I can't move.
Yeah.
Freedom, cut me loose, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you? I need I break chains up on myself. Let my freedom in hell. Hey, I'ma keep running 'cause I win. We don't tell.
What you want from me? Is it true? You see, I'm something to you. I said, what you want from me? Is it true? You see, I'm finally to you in me.
Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose, yeah. Where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too.
That was beyond, like, that was so captivating. That was so captivating. Bearing in mind, I've seen this before. It's not even like I haven't seen, I've seen that before, but still, that was so captivating. And you know what's interesting? Because like this year in particular, I've really started looking at like MCing and like rap lyrics and stuff even more so than I ever have done, particularly with Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm just hanging on to every single word. Whereas before, if I'm being really honest, like when Beyonce's on stage, I really ain't taking notice of anyone. Like I recently went back to listen to Destiny's Child. I say recently, it's on the channel. It's probably a couple of years ago actually. And what's his name? His face, Jermaine Dupri, like, is on that track, and I had no idea what Jermaine Dupri said on that track. I was actually reacting to the song. I had to put the song back to like, oh, hang on, he said something. So I'm quite used to just being like, oh, I don't know what, it's fine, like, you know. So it's interesting for me that I'm so interested and so intrigued. So I do want to find out a bit more exactly what he said, and I also want to find out as well because again, looking at the performance, you know, you've got obviously her coming into a speech with Martin Luther King, and again, I mean, and he as well, man. Even like just listening to those words of how amazingly articulate he was, like, and you know, at such a time that was so divisive, like, I mean, it cost him his life. You know, but to come into a speech like that talks about all people, yes, black people too, brown people, anybody, that actually it's all about, you know, the strength and the quality of their character, and not about the color of their skin, and that we refuse to believe that the bank of justice is corrupt. What is that? What is it? Is bankrupt. Is bankrupt. You know, big words, man. Big words. So to come in on that, and then you've got what looks very tribalistic in terms of, like, you know, how they're dressed and, like, you know, with the white paint and stuff, and how that sits against the light. And then they're in water. And I don't know, with all the red light and stuff as well, like, I don't know whether there's any links towards, I don't know, like the Underground Railroad. I don't know. So I want to find out, like, what symbolism, because I know for a fact Beyonce is very intentional about her art. I know that Kendrick is very intentional too. And his little verse before he comes into his main verse as well, I want to know exactly what that means as well. And that was 2016. Like, that's nearly 10 years ago. And it's only now that I'm actually like dissecting that performance up. Apart from just being sick and me loving the song and what freedom meant, like in terms of what the performance, what the visuals represented, I haven't really delved apart from just being like, it looked great, it sounded great, they looked great. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's find out exactly what I got on. Okay, so let's see what the AI is going to tell us here. So, Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar's collaborations often delve into themes of Black resilience, identity, and social justice. The performance of Freedom at the 2016 BET Awards, for example, was powerful and politically charged, exploring themes of slavery, the Black Lives Matter movement, and the African diaspora. Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show, which included a cameo from Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam Tom, further highlighted these themes using symbols and stage design to address issues like mass incarceration and the disparities within the carceral system. Let's elaborate. Right, so Freedom as a protest song. Freedom performance at the BET Awards resonated deeply with the audiences, evoking images of Black struggle and resistance. The lyrics and the accompanying visuals, including the use of imagery from Lemonade, solidified its image as a song of liberation and hope. Of course, there were images from Lemonade. Yes. Symbolism in Kendrick Lamar's. Okay, we'll come back to. I don't buy that. Like, how can you be a culture vulture, but it's your culture? I just don't understand. Okay, AI. Okay, you did what I wanted to do. Beyonce's Freedom performance to Kendrick Lamar at the 2016 BET. What's I got this on? At the 2016 BET Awards was a powerful statement about freedom, resistance, and the Black experience in America, particularly in the context of the Black Lives Matter movement and the political climate surrounding the upcoming election. Here's a breakdown of the key elements and their significance.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I didn't ask you anything, Alexa. So, number one, freedom and its message. The song Freedom itself is about the fight for freedom and self-determination in the face of adversity. The performance emphasized the themes of resilience and the struggle for a better future, particularly for Black communities. 2. Political and social commentary. Martin Luther King Jr. quote. The performance began with an audio clip of Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream speech, connecting the message of freedom to the ongoing struggle for equality. Did they reckon that's happening right now? Water imagery. The stage setup including a pool of water evoked the imagery of baptism and cleansing, suggesting the need to be reborn and free from the shackles of oppression. Okay, that's the water. Right, okay. Dances and red lighting. The red lighting and the dancers' movements created a sense of unity and power, symbolizing the collective struggle for liberation. Parallels to Lemonade. The performance echoed the themes of Lemonade, particularly its focus on the Black experience, resilience, and the fight against systemic racism. Okay. 3. Kendrick Lamar's contribution. Kendrick Lamar's presence on stage amplified the message of resistance and added a layer of political commentary through his lyrics and stage presence. Context of the 2016 election. The performance occurred during a highly charged political climate with the upcoming election and the Black Lives Matter movement dominating headlines. The performance served as a call to action and a reminder of the ongoing struggle for freedom and justice. In essence, Beyonce's Freedom performance at the 2016 BET Awards was a powerful statement about the ongoing struggle for freedom, resistance, and the Black experience in America. It was a call to action, a reminder of the need for change, and a celebration of resilience. I mean, you're going to think when someone is at such a level that they, and you see it all the time with like certain artists that don't really give a crap about their art. They just want to make the money. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not interested in making political statements or things that can educate or move people. They're not interested in using their platform to help have a cultural shift or at least have a conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, you haven't got to necessarily agree with me, right? But at least ask yourselves questions about certain things. And I'm just like, again, at the time when it came out, there was a lot going on with the Black Lives Matter movement. I remember that. And and again, I know what the song represented, but I didn't know what the performance did. So again, the Lynx Lemonade, brilliant, because again, it was on the album. The kind of the power and the resilience, like you get that from as I said, there's a very tribal collective as soon as the dancers start walking through. I wasn't sure what the red light meant aside from just being quite like, you know, like powerful. Do you know what I mean? It's quite all consuming, this light. But then the water, like I said, I wasn't quite sure what the water represented, but again, cleansing, baptism, you know, being reborn, like that again is so powerful. It's just so powerful. I wonder whether there was anything on her costume that was stitched in that we didn't see, because I know that there's probably something as deep as that when it comes to Beyonce. What I do want to do is pull up Kendrick's lyrics. Oh, it's already on Genius. I was coming to Genius anyway to look at the actual song itself, but okay. So, Freedom Anthem dedicated to black women. The song brings Beyonce's visual album to an apex with the scene Hope and features the mothers of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Eric Garner pictured with photos of their deceased sons. Throughout the song, Beyonce alludes to herself as a force of nature who can empower other women like herself to break free of the bonds society places on them. She addresses her struggle with infidelity as a black woman, as well as alluding to the history of slavery inflicted upon African Americans, including current issues and the Black Lives Matter movement. Beyonce and her writers, musicians, and producers sonically reference the musical memories of all those periods. Wow. Beyonce is joined by Kendrick Lamar in their first ever collaboration. While Beyonce focuses on women's issues, Kendrick continues to touch on institutionalized racism, a major theme of his critically acclaimed 2015 album To Pimp a Butterfly, which I still yet to listen to. However, Kendrick also brings women to the forefront, alluding to Tupac's Dear Mama and Ride For Me, while sending a message of empowerment to his own mother. In Kendrick's verse, he employs a style of writing that counts down from 10 to 5 before switching to a syllable count to further the countdown. This gives the impression that Kendrick is counting down towards something significant. Within context of the song and the final bars of the verse, Kendrick is likely counting down to freedom from oppression. Yasin B employs a similar writing style and mathematics. Along with issues affecting black women, social equality justice are major motifs of this song. On June 26, 2016, Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar opened the 2016 BET Awards with a rousing rendition of the original Freedom. The live performance featured a visual theme of water and fire. The costume and choreography also featured references to slavery and African tribal influence, keeping in theme with the song. The live version features tweaks and added bars to Kendrick's verse. The lyrics here. Okay, here they are. Okay, so we've got the intro for Martin Luther King Jr. So I'm going to read this out here because actually, it's been a long time that I've actually read Martin Luther King Jr.'s words. So, when the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt, so we've come to cash this check. A check that will give us, upon demand, the riches of freedom and the security of justice. What I mean, that's just part of it. And that's just part of it. Wow. And that's how you open your performance. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous I Have a Dream speech, originally spoken in 1963, is revitalized 53 years later. This intro contains excerpts from various parts in MLK's speech, generally grouped in the early parts of his speech. The metaphor of a check and owed money was common in political discourse at the time. The Washington Post highlights it as a deliberate callback to Abraham Lincoln. Malcolm X also used the metaphor that same summer in saying, "A bill is owed to us and must be collected." The inclusion of this legendary human rights activist's words draws a parallel between the racial oppression in MLK's time to the oppression in modern times. Kendrick has acknowledged and praised MLK among other human rights activists in his songs before. In Backseat Freestyle, he directly references this particular speech. Martin had a dream. Martin had a dream. Kendrick have a dream. Like this BET performance of freedom, he also draws a parallel from MLK's 1963 dream to his own modern day dream. So verse 1, trying to rain on the thunder, till the storm I'm new. Trying to rain on the thunder, till the storm I'm new. The thunder and storm may represent the pain of deception and infidelity in families and especially marriages. That personal narrative is the driving force of Lemonade. Here, the storm and thunder also represent the cloud of racial oppression that has hung over African Americans since times of slavery. In the last few years, that conversation has been reawakened by the high-profile deaths of Mike Brown, Tamir Rice, and Eric Garner at the hands of police. These are some of the cases which sparked the Black Lives Matter movement, which has given new momentum to the quest for racial justice. Beyonce supported the Black Lives Matter movement since its inception. Her unapologetically black Super Bowl performance, complete with dancers in Black Panther berets performing Black Power salutes, led to right-wing commentary labeling her as racist and anti-cop. I remember this well. Seems Queen Bee is doing more than trying to rain on the biggest parade. She's succeeding. Wow. I'm a walk, I'm a march on the regular, painting white flags blue. So I would take that to mean that, listen, I'm not sitting around. Like, I'm happy to march, and I'm happy to these white flags of surrender. Like, I'm happy to paint them blue. That's where I stand, actually. That's what I imagine. Like her song Formation, Bee invites others to join her and march for freedom, inspiring others to change their opinions from apathy to activism. It's like painting white flags blue. Among naval ships, a white flag symbolizes either truce or surrender. But Beyonce isn't giving up. Rather than surrender, Bee fights for the marriage. Her I keep forgetting that because this song came out in Lemonade, so the links that she's making between like her relationship and what she's fighting for within that, and also what people fight for their freedom in general, like the parallels are just so powerful. Because as much as like the racial tension and racial equality and social justice are just much bigger than me, you, like all of us, like it's huge within your own home. The sanctity of your marriage and the success of your relationship and stuff is just so important. So it's just really interesting having that kind of duality between those two themes, really, and them both being quite important to whoever is looking at it at the time. Yeah, Bee fights for her marriage. Her perseverance creates new life. Blue Ivy. Good point. Blue embodies and extends the love share between her parents. Beyonce's fight and faith in her personal life mirror the determination of the Black community as they battle for change. Both of these struggles yield a family founded on strength, persistence, and most importantly, belief in a brighter future. Wow. It's getting deep, guy. Oi. Refrain. Lord, forgive me, I've been running blind in truth. Blind running in a physical sense refers to running a trail or path you've never experienced or seen before, one in which you're unsure of the destination. This could be an admission of guilt from Beyonce, who may feel like she hasn't done enough in the past to be vocal about issues affecting Black women. While she focused on her career with her last album, Beyonce, she's ready to take up the fight on Lemonade. As a mother, she's realised she has a bigger duty to protect her Black child, just like the mothers of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Eric Garner, who appear in the music video. Collaborator and model Winnie Harlow told W Magazine, said, "Of the conversation shared," Harlow said, "I wanted to thank her for acknowledging me as a strong Black woman and uplifting and continuing to empower us all. That made her so happy." Harlow added, she said that's exactly what she wanted to do, and she feels even more responsible now that she has Blue. You know, I hear often, yeah, like, and to be fair, I wasn't expecting to get so deep with this one song, but I hear often that that Beyonce, you know, that she remembered that she was Black. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like Beyonce maybe before the whole Black stuff, and you know, because she wears weave and it's blonde and whatever. And I don't know, I've never my thought about it has always been that, you know, you can't change the world until you've got people listening. And I feel like she's been so good at her craft, which is why I'm so excited about going to another Beyonce concert, because she's still so good at her craft. Like, when people turn around to me and say that Beyonce can't sing, I'm just like, you are just willfully wanting to say that, because that doesn't even make sense to me at this point. Like, how is that even in question? Like, you might say that her style of singing isn't to your, the timbre of her voice maybe doesn't appeal to you, but even then, I'm like, that you're willfully wanting to dislike something because of your, like, I'm not, I mean, okay, actually, that takes away people's agency. So I'm not going to say that, because people may very well just not like her voice, maybe not like her music. But I just, I find it really difficult to understand that, because then when I listen to people who don't rate her, but then they show me who they do rate, I'm like, but then how can that voice? I don't understand. Like, you might, even if you don't, even if you like, you don't get it, or she's not your fave. Like, there are people that actually actively hate her voice, and I'm like, I don't really understand that. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, in my opinion, she has continued to deliver over the last like 3 decades. Like, as long as I've been like listening to music and stuff, and wanting to kind of download and buy music and all that kind of stuff, like, Beyonce has been Beyonce, Destiny's Child. Like, she has been like, she's been there and been keen and continued to be the person that people have been like, I want to follow in those footsteps. I'm inspired by, since 15 these stilettos been strutting in this game. Like, she's been around, man. So for me, someone that is able to build their craft and continue to deliver excellence to the point where you've got other people within the industry that look to you, your peers, as inspiration. Like, wow. I think it's only at that point then, really, once you've kind of dominated everything that you could dominate, that you then you kind of surpass the need for things to be successful. I remember watching, whenever she's releasing an album and stuff, like her kind of nervousness, her kind of anxiety about releasing something new.
I was so scared, and I already envisioned like the worst things that could happen. I'm like, people are gonna hate it. Why didn't I say anything? But no, I mean, it's just things that we all go through. It's just human. I was just really nervous because this was a huge risk. When I landed, I saw it actually live on iTunes, and you're just waiting for the first comment. The next morning, I just was. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Because you've got this new thing, like, that was great, but then that was that. I mean, like, who knows how long your longevity is going to continue. Like, look at like Lil Nas X. I was watching a video regarding him just the other day, and like how like people are looking at like the downfall of him and stuff, and what's happened with his sales and that kind of stuff. Nobody knows what your longevity is going to be like. So the fact that she's taken that success and then she's decided that, actually, I'm going to use this platform that I've got now that I've amassed the power in which that I've got, because of who I am now, because of what I have been to the world for so long. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to not just educate myself, I'm going to educate people through my music and my artistry. So I've never seen it a case as, Beyonce has, has not embraced her blackness. I've never seen it like that at all. I've just seen her as creating music that's steeped in R&B, and has always had those roots, those amazing, like gospel-esque R&B riffy roots, like, always throughout every element of what she has produced. But she's now at a point, like she said, she's now a mum, she's got Blue, and she's got the power and the status and the flexibility now to be like, I'm gonna talk. And that's exactly what she's done. And I find it quite sad in a way that, like, I know that there's some people that are not going to Cowboy Carter, have never listened to Cowboy Carter, because they're just like, why would I listen to any of this like hillbilly and it's like, there's so much to learn if people are willing to be open just to soak in art and just see what is she talking about, why has she chosen this, and what is that all about. So yeah, going through this is actually really, I think Lemonade is going to be an album that I actually go back and revisit in terms of all of the lyrics and stuff, because I don't think I've ever gone through it like with a fine tooth comb all these years later. I'm a rain on this bit of love. I'm a rain on this bit of love. Tell the sweet I'm new. Beyonce decided to forgive and move forward after experiencing personal pain. She's chosen family and love ahead of anger and separation. There's an explicit connection between bitter love and sweet in this couplet. And bitter love to the sweet I'm new. There is an explicit connection between bitter love and sweet in this couplet. While Beyonce could have settled on a bittersweet ending, she's chosen to leave the bitterness behind and takes only the sweetness with her. Ooh, and I've never thought about this. I've sang this song out, like, and I've never really thought about like the depth of the lyrics in this. As said in the closing skit by Jay-Z's grandmother, Hattie White, I had my ups and downs, but I always find the inner strength to pull myself up. I was served lemons, but I made lemonade. Rain could also be heard as its homophone rain, because Beyonce is choosing to take her husband's suspected infidelity in stride and reign over the rough patch in her relationship, rather than letting it get in her way by reigning over her. She is the queen after all. Oh, I love that too. Yeah. That double plan words. Yeah, I love that. Oh, I'm telling these tears going full away. Oh, when the last one burned into flames, when the last tear burned into flames. Ooh. The pre-chorus represents the power and the determination of black women. Rather than fall to despair, black women have formed the Black Lives Matter movement. All three founders are women to take action on racism and oppression. I mean, it's a shame what then came out about some of those, to be fair, but in terms of what the mission was for, I think that still had, merit, but I think what ended up happening, things were hijacked, and yeah. Beyonce leads by example, commanding her own emotions and representing the strength necessary to bring about change. Her declaration links to a bar in Kendrick's following verse, addressed to his own mother. But mama, don't cry for me, ride for me. Don't cry for me, ride for me. Beyonce allows herself the freedom of feeling her pain rather than bottling up or pretending it's not there. And then she turns that passion towards the protection of her daughter. Using passionate lyricism, she empowers the protesters who march to protect America's black youth from police brutality. In the music video, the mothers of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Eric Garner are pictured holding photos of their deceased sons. Leslie McSpadden, Michael Brown's mother, cries in the video. I remember the video well. Then you got the chorus. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Say, yeah, freedom, freedom, where are you? Because I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Beyonce rallies her listeners around liberation, but in particular the liberation of black women. African American women are often at the forefront of civil rights, but their needs are repeatedly pushed to the side in favor of the needs of black men, as if their needs are the needs of the whole, or take precedent. This trend has continued with the Black Lives Matter movement. The hashtag Black Lives Matter was started by female community organizers Alicia Garza and Opie Tometi. But even though the organizers were both women, the deaths of black women at the hands of police only started to get attention with the death of Sandra Bland. I remember that, Sandra Bland. The deaths of women like Rakaya Boyd were largely ignored. In the video for Freedom, the mothers of black men who died at police hands join with young black women who've been ridiculed for their appearance or their politics. Beyonce unites them to say that black women will be the makers of their own liberation. Listen, like, I cannot believe I'm on the dawn of going to see Cowboy Carter and I'm still finding out things about Beyonce that like I mean, again, on a surface level, these are things that I was aware of, but there's a lot here that's even deeper than what I knew. Hey, I'ma keep running because the quitter don't quit on themselves. These lyrics speak explicitly to black women. Strength and perseverance are major themes in Lemonade, which again can be quite, you also need to be careful with that, because sometimes when you're seen as strong, persevering and stuff, people don't allow you the space to be vulnerable. And I know that's something that like a lot of black women who are seen as the strong, sometimes even when they're trying to like just explain themselves or whatever, can come are seen as aggressive and stuff, and it's like they're not at all. They're just being like anyone else would be, but their perception is strong, powerful. So everything is strong and powerful. And it doesn't necessarily provide and hold space for them to be vulnerable and therefore to be protected. Just as Beyonce isn't quitting on her marriage and surrendering to her partner's infidelity, the women of the Black Lives Matter movement won't give up on fight for justice and equality, because that would be quitting on themselves. As Hilton writes for The New Yorker, as Beyonce sings, we see various shots of black mothers holding photographs of their sons, boys, and men who have lost their lives to accidental police shootings. It's in those moments that Beyonce displays most profoundly what Butler called hyper-empathy, the ability to identify with and feel the pain of others, which of course has always been at the heart of black music and black style. You look at spirituals, like, you know, you feel it like you were in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, absolutely. Is this still? Yeah, it is. Let's check it out. It's still the performance. I'm a wade. I'm a wave through the waters till the tide don't move. So this is reference to the 19th century Negro spiritual "Wade in the Water." Yeah. Although the song relates to the Israelites escaping Egypt in Exodus 14, is associated with the Underground Railroad and was believed to be part of coded instruction to find the way to freedom in the North or South or Southern slave states. Wade in the water, children. God's gonna trouble the water. The book Pathways to Freedom, Maryland and the Underground Railroad, explains how Harriet Tubman escaped enslavers. How Harriet Tubman escaped enslavers by getting into the water so that her scent couldn't be picked up by tracking dogs. Beyonce will not only wade into the shallow waters, but she'll wave through them, moving easily like a wave through the water. Oh, I love that. I cannot believe it's taking this long for me to kind of get into these lyrics. I'm a riot through your borders, call me bulletproof. Beyonce ups the ante from the first verse. She was content to march. Now she's going to riot. In May 2015, it was reported Beyonce and Jay-Z had wired tens of thousands to assist in bailing out Baltimore riot protesters. Wow. I didn't even know that she did that. Imagine, like, unless I'm going crazy, right? All people are asking for, or all people have ever asked for, is equality. It's not for special treatment. Like, I've never looked at like any of my white counterparts and thought, do you know what? I need to be treated better than you. I need to be given more than you. I deserve more than you. Your ancestor did X, Y, and Z. So therefore, all I've ever looked at, and I imagine what a lot of people have always looked at, is that we now have a system that is fair and that we don't have corruption. That means that based on who you are and what you look like will depend on how society treats you. And I think that for a lot of people, it's almost like an impossibility that certain things that have been so entrenched in the world, not even just whether it's in the UK or America, like just around the world, that it's impossible that those things could still continue. So the kind of the sentiment that has kind of built up, or that I feel has built up a lot more since even this era, is that you're asking for too much now. You've requested too much, right? Now that we are, as in white people, as in like we are, there's an imbalance shift, and now that actually the special treatment that you're asking for is too much. And I just find that so odd because, like I said, it's not that. It's just people wanting to be treated the same. That's it. That was how I understood Black Lives Matter. Not because other people's lives didn't matter, but to say that everyone's life should matter, or there wouldn't need to be something that said. Because I remember one of my friends saying to me like, "Oh, if Black Lives Matter so much, like why is there so much black on black crime?" And I'm like, so where's the white on white crime? When's the last time you heard anyone even mention that? Where's white on white crime? So it's really easy to kind of pinpoint an area where, yeah, I would say that there needs some work on that. But that actually isn't what we're talking about. We're talking about the same services and the same things that should be for everybody that can showcase like biases to people, like, which is why there are, you know, an an insurmountable amount of people, and definitely a disproportionate amount of people, you know, within certain cultures that are incarcerated. Do you know what I mean? Like heftier sentences. Like, you know, how do those visible things? If only got to look at what's happening in world right now. Do you know what I mean? And how people have, you know, rallied for certain people and not rallied for others. You know, so yeah, it's just crazy to me that like people can I don't know whether people still now like will have the same kind of mentality and stuff, but like I said, I know that this movement was completely hijacked by, you know, fraudulent activity and stuff, and sometimes all you need is a reason. Look at Los Angeles right now. So anyway, I digress. Then we get to Kendrick's bit. What you want from me? Is it truth you seek? Oh, Father, can you hear me? What you want from me? Is it truth you seek? Ah, Father, can you hear me? No stranger to guess questioning. No stranger to questioning his faith. Kendrick once again called upon God for direction. With all the inequality within the world, Kendrick isn't sure how to handle the racism and discrimination. On Untitled 01, I'm guessing 19th of August 2014, Kendrick states, I made to a pimp a butterfly for you, told me to use my vocal to save mankind for you. God may need Kendrick to make another to pimp a butterfly to help empower the black community again. What you want from me is the truth you see. Ah, Father, can you hear me? Okay. And then we've got the live breakdown. Okay, verse 3. Meet me at the finish line, 40 acres, give me mine. 40 Acres and a Mule has been mentioned by Kendrick previously on To Pimp a Butterfly in both Wesley's Theory and For Free. Additionally, 40 Acres and a Mule were given to formerly enslaved African American farmers after the Civil War during the Reconstruction era as a part of agrarian reform. In an article by Henry Louis Gates Jr. on PBS, breaks down the significance of the concept. The promise was the first systematic attempt to provide a form of reparations to newly freed slaves, and it was astonishingly radical for its time, proto-socialist in its implications. The idea was radical, but it served as a finish line for those who were oppressed for so long. Though it was ultimately overturned by the 17th President of the United States, Andrew Johnson, the phrase and step toward racial equality lived on. 40 Acres and a Mule. I actually forgot about that. The effects on slavery and sharecropping. Kendrick draws a parallel from this mid-1800s piece of history to modern day. In his own fight for racial equality, he likens his efforts as a socially aware rapper to that of a slave fighting for freedom. Kendrick portrayed himself as a slave in his 2016 Grammy performance of The Blacker the Berry and All Right. I haven't seen that performance. I need to watch that as well. Meet me at the finish line, 40 Acres, give me mine. Okay. Revolution televised, hoping that you see the signs. So, I mean, I'm sure he mentioned again the Revolution being televised in his Super Bowl performance as well. Hoping that you see the signs. So, you know, this is around, yeah. Hoping you're watching and hoping you're picking up on the signs here. The Revolution will not be televised. It's a 1971 poem and song written by Gil Scott Heron. It became an anthem for black power movements at the time. Kendrick also referenced his poem on Hill Power. Media coverage of the black struggle in America has dramatically increased in recent years. Movements such as Black Lives Matter protests are widely discussed on television, even in pop music, which is usually apolitical. Huge stars like Beyonce are starting to stir controversy by becoming vocal about these issues. Citizens are also starting to play a part in televising the revolution by exposing corruption and wrongdoing on the internet, e.g. via cell phone footage of police brutality or leaking information. The revolution today is in fact being televised. In this context, is also a meta comment on the live performance being broadcast to the world as part of the BET Awards. The performance is not just a song and dance number, but a signpost for viewers everywhere to be moved by the themes of the song. Kendrick explicitly referenced the BET Awards on The Blacker the Berry and institutionalized. Dear me, boy. Meet me at the finish line, 40 acres, give me mine. Again. Lemonade all the time, keep that in mind. Formation, exclamation, formation. Kendrick boasts about Beyonce's success with Lemonade, Beyonce's 2016 album of the same name, on which Freedom is the 10th track. Although released exclusively on Tidal for a limited time, it sold 485,000 copies in its first week, 653,000 including additional equivalent album units, and debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts. Experts estimated the album netted anywhere between $3 to $6 million in a day in its release week. Wow. Formation is the lead single and final track on Lemonade, and is another Black Power feminist anthem. I slay, Lemonade all the time, keep that in mind. Formation, yeah. Fellow great Americans, hello. This is Heritage for my medicine. 10 Hail Marys, I meditate for practice. The Hail Mary is a Christian prayer and is often recited 10 times as part of the Rosary Beads Mysteries, a meditation on the life and death of Jesus. There are 4 mysteries: the joyful mysteries, the luminous mysteries, the sorrowful mysteries, and the glorious mysteries. This is brand new information to me. According to Kendrick, he meditates in his own way by starting each day staring at himself in the mirror for 10 minutes. It started when I was 9 years old. Talking to myself in the mirror, I saw something a little different than just what the eye can see in the physical form. I saw my soul in the mirror. It's scary to realize you can take your mind somewhere totally different. What it does for me is it lets me know who I am and who I always will be, and where I came from, and what I'm trying to do with myself and the people around me, as far as inspiring others and continuing to be positive. It's a tricky thing, but it works. It lets you know who you are for real. In partnership with the third line in the verse, this likely references Tupac's song Hail Mary. Channel 9 News tell me I'm moving backwards. Another subtle jab at Fox News, who stated that Kendrick's All Right music video and BET performance had done more damage to African American youth than racism. That's interesting. This isn't the first time Kendrick mentioned Channel 9 in the second part of Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. He portrayed a child dying who'd later reveal the value of death in his hometown, Compton. He portrayed a child dying who'd later reveal the value of death in his hometown, Compton. Additionally, moving backwards references how throughout the first few bars here, K-Dot is literally counting backwards. 10 Hail Marys, Channel 9 News, 8 blocks. Yeah, I did read that earlier, but I completely missed that again. So yeah, 10 Hail Marys and meditate practice, Channel 9 News, so I'm moving backwards, 8 blocks left, death is around the corner. Being raised in a poverty-stricken area such as Compton comes with many downsides, including getting killed. Compton has the highest crime rates in the greater Los Angeles area. Kendrick has to be careful as death is literally around the corner. This could be a reference to Tupac's Death Around the Corner, which Kendrick later remixed and with label mate J-Rock. 7 misleading statements about my persona. 6 red lights aiming in my direction. 6 headlights refers to the 6 lights on a police car. Kendrick Lamar addressed the anti-police sentiment within the black community on his single All Right. And we hate Popo. One dead in the street for show. As an outspoken critic of police brutality, Kendrick has received severe backlash from the media. Fox News affiliate Geraldo Rivera, in his commentary on Lamar's All Right, drastically misconstrued the message behind Kendrick's music, claiming he has done more damage to the black community than racism. In response to Rivera, Kendrick decried the misinterpretation of his music, pointing out the overall positivity of All Right. How can you take a song that's about hope and turn it into hatred? The overall message of All Right is, we're gonna be all right. It's not a message of I want to people. I think his attempt is really diluting the real problem, which is the senseless acts of these young boys out here. And I think for the most part, it's avoiding the truth. This is reality. This is my world. This is what I talk about in my music. You can't dilute that. 5-0 asking me what's in my possession. Yeah. Kendrick continues his lyrical countdown, going from 10 down to 5, but he stops there. There's a similar countdown in Beyonce's countdown. The count goes from 5 to 0. It's 5-0 in it. Is slang for police. The term originated within the popular television cop drama Hawaii 5-0, which ran from 1968 to 1980 and was remade in 2010. The 5-0 part of the show title is in reference to Hawaii being the 50th state in the US. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Yeah, I keep running, jump in the aqueducts, fire marshaled, hazardous, smoke alarms on the back of us. Kendrick gives a visceral and physical representation of the desperate stress many African Americans feel when confronted by police in America. Fire hydrants and smoke alarms are common methods of riot control used to control protesters. This is reminiscent of civil rights era protests where powerful water hoses and smoke bombs are used to disperse crowds. My mama, don't cry for me, write for me, try for me, live for me, breathe for me, sing for me, obviously guiding me. I could be more than I gotta be. Stole from me, lied to me, nation hypocrisy. Kendrick's references to his mother embody this song's overall theme about empowering black women. Like Beyonce said in the pre-chorus, I'm telling these tears go and fall away, when the last one burn into flames. His cries are eerily similar to Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, and may allude to Tupac's song for Dear Mama and Ride For Me. This set of lines uses syllables with accents in groups of threes, continuing his lyrical countdown in his verse. There is so much in this, man, and I cannot believe it's only now that I'm hearing this. Like, stole from me, lied to me, nation hypocrisy. America stole from Kendrick's ancestors through the use of slave labor and then lied to their descendants, like Kendrick, with the promise of equal access to the American dream. In March 2016, it was revealed a former Nixon domestic policy advisor admitted to Harper Bazaar, then Harper's Magazine, in '94 that the war was really a war on African American communities. You want to know what this was really about? The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies, the anti-war left and black people. You understand what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with and blacks with and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about them? Of course we did. Wow. 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 Cold on me, drive on me, wicked, my spirit inspired me. Like, Kendrick explains that the spirits of past icons motivates him. The spirits are likely African American leaders like Malcolm X, Tupac, Kendrick's idol, and Martin Luther King Jr., who have all taken stances on black empowerment like Kendrick has. On Mortal Man, Kendrick's interview with Tupac explained deeper about spirits. Because the spirits, we ain't even really rapping, we're just letting our dead homies tell stories for us. From the actions taken by past activists, Kendrick draws inspiration from them and hopes to make an impact as big as they did. Open correctional gates in higher desert. It is common for prisons to be built in the middle of the desert, like the High Desert State Prison in California. Did not know that? By comparing slavery to open prison gates, Kendrick shows the full self-confidence the African American community has been given. This similarly displays African Americans as being free, yet they are still not given the chance to succeed because of the position they've been placed in. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm just floored that it's taken me this long to really, again, because like rap and like I knew it was on the track and stuff, but it just didn't appeal to me as much as Beyonce's vocals. Do you know what I mean? Wow. Open our mind as we cast away oppression, yeah? Open the streets and watch our beliefs. Racism, discrimination, and oppression have continued to come to the forefront of the media, even more so in the streets as they're assumed too dangerous, full of and riddled with gangster personas. Kendrick himself is from the hood, growing up in Compton, California. As someone who made it out of the hood and is successful, he knows the possibilities of a dreamer from the hood, but we may not. He asks us, and whoever may not fully understand what's happening in the world, to change our ways and welcome equality. By opening the streets, one is able to see the reality of the situation, which is that people with beliefs, dreams, hope, etc., live there, not the image bigots portray them as. Wow. Open the streets and watch our beliefs. You cry my name inside the concrete. I pray it forever reads. Fighting against oppression and racism has highlighted Kendrick's recent work, in particular 2015 to Pimp a Butterfly. As an activist and spokesperson for black empowerment, Kendrick hopes that when he dies and his name's carved into tombstone, he'll still be known for fighting for freedom. Wow. How long has that been? That's been an hour. That has been an hour in trying to understand, like, and trying to soak in as much from that performance as possible. Like, my plan was to check out the Renaissance concert, which I still will do, but I'm going to need to recharge my phone. I'm going to need to get a drink. That's just one song off that Lemonade album, and what that represents, and what it continues to represent for people, because we can't, well, I don't know about you guys, but I can't pretend and say that like the world is like suddenly better than it was in 2016. Do you know what I mean? Like, if anything, there are decidedly more like very visible problems when it comes to things like race and you know, like financial equality and all sorts and stuff. So, you know, to listen, to watch that back, to watch that back, and to have two artists that are using their platform to continue to talk about these things, and to be so intentional in that. But again, it's so easily missed. I'm such a huge Beyonce fan, and as much as I got the gist of Freedom and what it was trying to say, whatever, like all the different specific messages within that, like I'd miss them. It's only by going through this today and like looking at what, like, all the different elements of that performance, and then all the different bits of Kendrick's verse, and all the different parts of what Beyonce was referencing, and not just in terms of, again, racial equality or black empowerment, but also, like, again, in the context of her talking about her marriage and the infidelity that happened with her and Jay-Z. So that's just one song, people. And when I say that I'm excited to go and see her on Thursday, these are the reasons why, because she's continued to show up. She's continued to put out there and continued to almost like allow herself to be villainized, to be attacked, to be all sorts. I mean, don't get me started on what her even daring to bring out a country album, like something that she's steeped in, like, meant for her. Actual accolade of it didn't really matter because the history has already been laid. But to know that actually all that hard work, all that passion, all that determination in the face of adversity, in the face of someone even doubling down to say, do you know what, you see you and your Jackson 5 nose, like, okay, I tell you what, you are not even going to get nominated for nothing. Yeah, you're not even going to get nominated for nothing. That's how much that we don't rate you, don't want you, don't need you. You're not even going to get nominated for nothing. There was a guy, I recognize his face, but I can't remember his name. He was like, listen, you know, you want to be part of us? Come be part of us. Do you know what I mean? Come be part of us. You know, we'd love to see more of you. Does it make sense that you have to say that you have to come and do that in order for this body of work to qualify for what it actually is? You can miss me with that. And even now, there's still so many people that will hate on her because of the fact that she dared to explore her own roots, her own musical roots, and bring out something which so many people clearly love. So yeah, that was incredible, and I'm really glad I took the time to go through that. So Brenda, thank you. And to anyone else who's watching with me, I hope you enjoyed that too, because that opened many of my eyes that I thought already open to how sick Beyonce was. But wow. And Kendrick too, man. Like, wow. I would love to know what you guys thought of this. If you did enjoy this reaction, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Thank you. And if you do want access to my reactions before they come to YouTube, then please do head over to my Patreon, which is a great way to help support the channel, and it's a great way to connect with me more as well. But yeah, for now, thank you so much for watching, if you did, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you on the next one.